guys, what's going on? Pulled my first load with this new truck, my first actual load. I know I had that Swift trailer behind me before, but now I'm finally pulling my trailer with a load behind there, with a load in it. About 30,000 pounds, pulled it through the Smokies, down through Virginia and stuff like that on 77. Did pretty good on the fuel mileage, not bad. I'm down here in North Carolina right now, in Salisbury, North Carolina, at the Food Lion / Delhaize. And I was told by the broker, here's something you got to watch out for with brokers, man. Every little thing you got to question a broker on, you know, every little thing. And I let this one kind of slip up. They told me, and they were adamant, and they told me this load had to be here at 4 o'clock today. I said, okay, no problem, you know. I've never been to this location before, so I didn't know anything about this place. And so he tells me it has to be here at 4 o'clock, right? No problem, easy drive. So I get here at 3. Well, first off, I scheduled a load. Pretty much, I gave myself a 2.5 hour window from the 4 o'clock appointment time, get unloaded, and then run my ass on down to Columbia, South Carolina, and pick up a load for JB Hunt by 9. That's when it picks up, is at 9. I've already scheduled that load. Goes up to Excelsior Springs, Missouri, for Thursday. I planned it out just like that, you know, with the expectation of it being a 4 o'clock appointment time. I get here to the Food Line. They don't even open until 4:30. So I'm just praying they can get this load off in a timely manner. I'm hoping there's not much breakdown. But I know some brokers will lie about the appointment time just to ensure that you're not late, but it's absolute bullshit, you know? Give the driver the appropriate time, because we schedule shit, you know? We schedule our next load, you know, as close as we can, because the tighter our weeks are, the more money we make. I'll call I'll let JB Hunt know what's going on. But, you know, this doesn't look good on me. It doesn't look good on PDP. So, I don't know, man. It's one of those things, though. You learn, you know. But I'm here. I got here at 3 o'clock, and I'm just sitting here waiting now until 4:30 when they open. Kind of pissed. Because like I said, if they don't even open until 4:30, I'll go in there and check in at 4:30. Who knows? Right now, I'm the only truck here, but who knows how many trucks will be here by 4:30. So, and who knows what my actual appointment time is? I don't even know. I mean, it may be 5, it may be 6. I don't know. So, I'm going to go in there and check in, and, you know, I don't know, man. It's oh boy. So yeah, that's just the situation I'm in right now. Knock on wood though, the truck has been running well since the new starter was put in. I would still be at the dealership in Birmingham right now had I not spent the money to get the starter put on, you know, instead of waiting for diagnostics like they wanted me to for the warranty. You know, I'd still be stuck in Birmingham without a trailer. So at least I got a paying load right now. And then I have another paying load booked right after this load, assuming I can get out of here in a timely manner. If not, I'm going to be late for that load, and I don't know. I hate being late. Absolutely hate being late. It looks bad, man. It just looks bad. I take pride in what I do. I take a lot of pride in what I do. That's why I wanted to find the right truck. I take pride in the truck that I drive. I take pride in how I present myself essentially as a company owner, because I am. You know, I mean, this is my credibility. And when a broker lies to you about your appointment time, you know, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, even though, I mean, yeah, he said 4 o'clock and they open at 4:30, but if they open at 4:30, then that means they're not even going to get their shit together here until probably 5 to start unloading trucks. Maybe I shouldn't have booked it so close, but I wanted to get a load out of here as soon as I could. It's trucking, man. It's what you got to do sometimes. A little cooler in here. At least I got some shade. But something else I forgot to mention that really annoys me even more when I think about it. I specifically asked the broker yesterday when I picked up my load. I'm up around Columbus. You know, I said, hey, if I get there early, will they take me early? Right there was a perfect time for him to say, well, they don't actually open until such and such. But instead of doing that, he played along. He goes, well, sometimes they might take you early. You'll just have to go in there and see if they, you know, it depends on how busy they are, you know, if they'll take you early or not. That was the prime time for him to come out and just say, well, they don't actually open until, and he could have even said they don't open until 4, you know, and then I would have been like, oh, well, I guess they made my appointment time for right at 4 o'clock, you know, but no, he played along and said, well, they might take you early, you know, just go ahead and go in there and see, but they don't even open until 4:30. That's a bunch of bullshit. A bunch of bullshit. It's funny too because they're called. I don't know if I should. I'm not going to put their name out on blast. I'm just not. But they aren't living up to the name of their company. I'll just say that. But hey, we're just the truck driver. Why does it matter? What the hell's it point in telling us the truth? You know, it's not like we've got the loads behind us or anything like that. Not like we're trying to do this to make money. A little bit mad. So I'm going to call that broker and have a little discussion. Yeah. So an update on the broker situation. You know, I was talking about, they told me I had to be here at 4 o'clock today. So I got here at 3. Not knowing the situation here, that they don't actually open until 4:30. So the broker, you know, tells me, well, it's actually, you know, more of a first come, first serve type of deal. You know, so we really just want you guys to get there as soon as they open so you can get in the door and yada yada. Well, the rate con even says an appointment time at 4 o'clock today. So it's not like it doesn't say first come, first serve. The rate con, or, you know, FCFS. The rate con says 1600 appointment time. And they're trying to tell me now it's a first come, first serve. Well, I'll tell you, I've been to enough food lines that I know, I just haven't been to this food line, but I know food lines are never first come, first serve. There's always an appointment time for a food line, right? So I decided to go ahead and walk on into the food line here in the office after I got backed into a door. And I said, hey, you know, just out of curiosity, what time do you have me set here for an appointment? So the guy was real nice here, you know, real helpful guy. He looks into his computer system and says, well, you've got a 7 o'clock appointment time. I said, well, the broker was telling me 4 o'clock, you know, which I knew obviously was already erroneous. It was already a false appointment time because they didn't open till 4:30. And he goes, yeah, we got you here for 7. And I said, so you're telling me it's going to be probably at least 9 before I get out of here then? And he goes, oh, well, maybe. He goes, you do have some breakdown on your trailer that we have to, you know, tear some stuff down. Well, you know, I booked a load for 9 o'clock tonight. Assuming, well, based on the 4 o'clock appointment time that the broker gave me. And now it looks like I might not even get out of here until 9. I'm hoping that the that the next place I pick up at is not too strict and is open late enough that they can still get me loaded, because I'm 2 hours away. So I'm hoping they can get me loaded soon enough, or that they can still get me loaded tonight, if not first thing in the morning. But I don't know. I don't know. It's or hell, I might just lose the whole load because of it. You know, and I mean, I know some people are going to say, well, you shouldn't have booked the load so close. But, you know, that's kind of part of what being efficient is all about. You want to book the loads as close together as you can when you know you're going to be unloading in the middle of the day. You know, or in the middle of your work shift. You don't want to waste a whole work shift. So you want to, you know, book a load that accommodates, you know, the schedule that you're on. And so that's what I had to do, so I didn't sit for, you know, too long, you know, and sit for, you know, waste a whole extra whatever, you know. So I called this broker, and I said, hey, I just found out that my appointment time here isn't until 7 o'clock. Somebody dropped the ball. And I said, I've met my end of the contract on both the shipper and the receiving end. Got to both places early. And I said, so I do expect full compensation from this. Because I said, by the time they even get to me, I'll have been here for 3 hours past the time that the rate con says that I'm supposed to deliver. I said, so by then it could be, by the time I'm out of here, it could be 5 hours. And I said, on top of that, I might lose a load that I booked. Not that it really matters to them. I know they're not going to compensate me for any of the load that I'm losing. But they needed to know the seriousness behind this false appointment BS. Because I've heard that brokers do that sometimes just to make sure that the driver gets to where they're going on time. That way, if you're an hour and a half late from the from what the rate con says, well, you're actually still early, you see. But it's a bunch of BS, I mean, I see why they do that, because there are some unreliable drivers. But for the reliable drivers, which it's so hard for me not to give out the name of this broker. I've said the name. I've said the name and how reliable they are many times. But anyway, the brokers need to well, for one thing, they need to trust the drivers. They need to give the drivers a little bit of trust, and not call them every hour and a half like this one has at times. And they need to give the driver the benefit of the doubt and give him an accurate appointment time, so that way we can book loads and not have to worry about missing a load appointment, not have to worry about missing the next pickup appointment, because we're basing our entire week off of these delivery times. So, now I just had to send an email to my next broker again, giving them another update. And hell, I don't even know if they're going to keep me on it, It was a decent paying run. Not the best pay, but decent. It was over $2 a mile. And it went about 950 miles. And like I said, it was probably about $220 a mile. So yeah, I'm gonna miss out on that load, because I see now here's where it becomes kind of murky. Did Kellogg's book this appointment time and then give it to the broker to give out to a driver, or did the brokerage book the appointment time? See, that's where I'm at a loss, because it may not even be the broker's fault to an extent. It may not be. I'll give them that benefit. I will give that benefit of the doubt to them. But whoever it is that books the appointment times and then gives out that information to then be given to the driver, they need to understand that we need to know. It's very vital that the driver has the accurate appointment times, so that way we can book loads without being late. It makes us look horrible. We know when you're, it's one thing when you're a company driver and you're late. It's like, yeah, you're embarrassed. It looks bad on the company. And then as a driver, you're the one that has to deal with it, but you aren't necessarily the one that's reprimanded for being late, because you're just the driver. But like I said, you do have to deal with the bull crap. You do have to deal with being, without, not being put into a door right away. I'm basically being punished like you're a 5-year-old and you're being put in the corner for doing something you weren't supposed to do. But when you are an owner-operator, it all is on you. The way they treat you when you get to the appointment time that you're late for now because of circumstances that you had no control over. And then if there's some kind of a fine for being late, you know, something like that comes back on me now, even though it wasn't my fault. Which, you know, I mean, if there is a fine, which I don't think there is, there's nothing in the contract about there being a fine for my next pickup. But, you know, if there is a fine, then you can bet your butt that I'm going to be sending that to the broker that gave me this load. Not that they'll pay it, but I'm not going to go without attempting to try anyway. There's always good, and there's always the bad, and there's always the ugly of trucking. You know, I love trucking, and I love talking about the good. But there is a lot of bad. You know, I experienced it on Friday when my starter went out, and now I'm experiencing it with the broker. I'm more pissed about this though than I am about the breakdown on Friday, because at least the breakdown, there really is nothing that you can do about something like that. If a starter fries, it fries. There's nothing you can do about that. But, you know, when a broker does, if this is on the broker's shoulders, if the broker, you know, knowingly gave me a false appointment time, then all they had to do is give me the right appointment time, and I would not be in this mess. You know, so that's why I'm more pissed, because they could have done the right thing. And maybe they still will. And again, I don't want to even give the name, because it could be, it's a Kellogg's load, and it could be Kellogg's that made the appointment, or that, you know, gave the broker the appointment time to give to the driver that took the load. That's a possibility, you know. So I don't want to throw it all on the broker, but, you know, as long as they compensate me for my time here, even though it won't be anything grand, something's better than nothing. This load was already paying me about $3 a mile, I think. Yeah, more than that. Yeah, like, well, about $3.50 a mile was what this load paid me. You know, so decent paying load, but I'm just annoyed. So anyways, see you guys in a bit. All right, so an update on this whole broker spiel. I think I done messed up. I realized after I left the receiver, I did not have them put a timestamp on my bills. So even though the broker screwed up, or somebody messed up, somebody dropped the ball, whether it was the broker or Kellogg's, I'm not sure who, but I'm not going to have any proof to back up my claim, i.e. the timestamp. I may have just missed out on detention pay on this one. So lesson learned. Lots of those happening out here. Lesson learned. And we'll get them next time, I guess. On the brighter side, they are loading me tonight still in Columbia, South Carolina, going up to Excelsior Springs, Missouri. I did not miss out on this load, so that's good. It just sucks, man. You know, I just hate showing up anywhere late, even if it's not my fault. They don't care that it's not my fault. To them, it's my fault. I'm the driver. You know, I'm the face that they put with the name. So, you know, it is what it is. But the important thing is I'm here to get loaded. And, you know, even if they take all day to load me, I mean, it doesn't deliver until Thursday night. So, even though it's about 980 miles, I've got plenty of time. Even if I don't get out of here until tomorrow morning, I'll just complete a 10 right here. So I'm not worried. It's a 24-hour facility, which the broker I'm using on this one is JB Hunt. I'm using that JB Hunt app, which I kind of like. I kind of like being able to go in there and, you know, if I don't like the rate that they're offering, or if they're not offering a rate at all, you know, I can just go in there and set my own rate. And if they like it, they call me up and say, hey, do you want to take this load still for that rate? Sure. You know, that's what happened with this load. You know, you just put in the number you want. And I think I got this load for about 400 more than they were offering it as a book it now price, or a book it now rate. I got about 400 above what they were asking on that. So it's never far-fetched, you know, to kind of up to kind of up. Holy cow, I'm tired. To up the rate, you know, even if it seems unnecessarily high to you, just do it. The least they can do is reject it, and then you can put in another offer, you know, or they'll counter offer, which is what they did with me a couple of times. I started out at 22. That's what I offered. And then they counter offered. Then I brought it down $50. They counter offered again. I brought it down another $50. And then that was my bottom dollar for this load. And they accepted that one. So yeah, I'm actually, there's some decent loads on there. There really are. It's better than Uber in my mind. Uber, you can't even, at least as far as I know, you can't offer a rate on Uber. Somebody told me you can, but the only option I see on there is a book it now option. And you know, I don't want to book it now if I don't really want the load for that rate. You know, I don't want to hit that book it now button and then be locked into it without intentionally meaning to, you know, take the load. But you know, I do have to say Uber's kind of decent for the short runs and stuff, but I'll get into some of that stuff maybe in another video. Talk about the kind of automated load boards like that. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that here, and we'll get loaded. So I guess this is all I got to say right now. You guys have a good one out there. Be safe, and be careful with those brokers if you're booking your own load, because they will give you some off-the-wall information, like completely erroneous appointment times, and then they will try to backpedal and say, oh, well, it's more of a first come first serve, and then you actually find out from the shipper or from the receiver that your appointment time was 3 hours after what they told you. So again, maybe I should not have booked a load so close, but it's all about efficiency out here. And if they had been correct, it only took them an hour and a half to unload me from the 7 o'clock appointment time. I was out of there by 8:30. So, you know, I would have been good. If I'd actually had a 4 o'clock appointment time, I would have been out of there by 5:30, and I would have been down here by, you know, like with an hour and a half to spare. But it didn't happen. Anyways, guys, we'll talk to you all later. Have a good one out there. Be safe, and keep making that money.